Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for GMAT. We have been solving GMAT math problems out of this book here, GMAT Review, the official guide, the 13th edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problems that we are about to solve are the one that you will find on page number 279. And today is our lesson number 70. Let's take a look at the first problem, problem number 54. Problem number 54. Problem number 54 tells you that this taxi company, this cab company charges F cents for the first mile. They go on to tell us that it also charges additional M cents for each additional mile. The question is, how much does it cost for a 10-mile ride? So if you were to ride in this taxi for 10 miles, given the fact that it charges you F cents for the first mile, M cents for additional miles, how much will you end up paying them for a 10-mile ride? The first statement tells us that it charges 90 cents for a 2-mile ride. It charges 90 cents for a 2-mile ride. Now we know for a 2-mile ride we'll end up paying F cents for the first mile, M cents for the next 1 mile, for a total of 90 cents. But that's not enough. We have two unknowns and only one variable. We need to somehow figure out the value of both F and M before we can tell what the cost is going to be or of a 10-mile ride. This statement by itself is not enough. A, D, B, C, E. Since the first statement by itself is not sufficient, answer cannot be A, nor can it be B. Second statement tells us that it charges $1.20 for a 4-mile ride. For a 4-mile ride, well, you're going to end up paying F cents for the first mile, and each additional mile costs M cents. So first mile and then 3 additional miles for a total of 4 miles. You're going to end up paying 3 times M cents for the 3 additional miles, for a total of $1.20. Again, the same problem. We have two unknown and only one equation. This by itself is no good. Answer cannot be B. And of course the answer is going to be C. We don't have to do anything to realize that. The answer is going to be C because we have two independent equations and we have two unknowns. We can solve for the two unknowns with the two independent equations, and once we have the value of the F and the M, we can figure out what the cost is going to be of a 10-mile ride or any length of ride. The answer is C. Now the part that we are about to do is purely out of curiosity, is purely for learning purposes. This is not something you will do in the real exam. It will be a sheer waste of time if you were to sit there and actually figure out the value of the F and the M. Nobody's asking you what the values are. Nobody's asking us how much does it cost actually to ride for 10 miles. All that we're being asked here is, do we have sufficient data to be able to figure out the cost if we had to? And the answer is yes, we do have sufficient data. We just said it. 2 independent equations and 2 unknown. Let's find out what that is, out of curiosity. Let's find out what that is. Answer is C. Let's put them together. F plus 3M equals 120. I'm going to put it right underneath it. F plus 3M. F plus 3M equals 120. If you were to subtract the second equation from the first equation, this is positive, this becomes negative, this becomes negative, this positive 120 becomes negative. Positive F and a negative F cancel out. M minus 3M is negative 2M. 90 minus 120 is 30, negative 30, and therefore M is 15. There you go. They charge 15 cents for each additional miles, therefore they must charge 90 minus 15, because we know the 2-mile ride costs 90 cents. So if you subtract 15 from it, we get 75. Voila. So as soon as you get in the cab, the meter starts at 75 cents. It doesn't matter how much you ride. The first mile is 75 cents just to get in the car, just to get in the cab, and then after that each additional mile racks up another 15 cents. So for a 10-mile ride, 10-mile ride will cost the 75 cents for the first mile, and then 9 times 15 for each additional mile. But of course they're not asking us for that. That's it, we're done with it. Want to do one more? Let's do the next one. Let's do the next one. Next one is, alright, let's do the next one. That's it, we're done with it. Number 55. We are told that net income equals the gross income minus the deductions. Let's use symbols here. I'm going to use N for net income, G for gross, and D for deduction. And the question is, by what percentage did the net income change? By what percentage did the net income change? Don't worry about the fact that sometimes I use small letters, sometimes I use the big letter. It doesn't really matter. If it did matter, I wouldn't be so sloppy. It doesn't matter because it's a very simple problem. The first statement tells us that his gross income went up by 4%. The first statement tells us that the gross income is up by 4%. Well, knowing that the gross income went up by 4%, how is that going to answer us? How is going to answer by what percentage did the end change? We need to know a lot more than that. Even if you knew by what percentage deduction went up, we still wouldn't know by what percentage net income went up. In order for us to figure out by what percentage did the net income go up, we need to know the exact figure for the net income for the previous year and this year. This gives us no such information. Statement 1 is not enough. A, D, B, C, E. Since the first statement does not work, answer cannot be A, nor can it be D. Let's look at second statement. The second statement tells us, the deductions are up 15%. Again, that statement by itself, knowing that the deductions are up 15%, it's not going to tell us how much did the net income change. This by itself is not enough. Answer cannot be B. Together, in a haste, some people might say, well, the deduction is going up by... No, just knowing the percentage change in deduction and percentage change in the gross income is not going to tell you the net percentage change in the net income. We have to have the figures for net income for the previous year and for this year in order for us to figure out what the percentage changes in net income. Putting them together also does not get us anywhere. The answer is E. It does no good. Even putting them together, it does no good. Let's do one more. Let's finish up this page because the one after that is also very simple, very straightforward. I don't know why they even bother to give the bloody thing. It's too babyish. Number 56 is too babyish. Only thing that they are testing, the only concept that they are testing in number 56 is, do you know that the sum of all angles in any triangle equals 180 degrees? And of course you do know it. Almost everybody knows it. I have never come across anybody who doesn't, except with the exception of perhaps people who have not had a geometry in many years, and this being the GMAT, this is not a GRE, this being a GMAT. If you've been in the business sector for many years, 10-15 years, and if you have never touched a geometry, you might have forgotten it, which is what they're trying to see here. They're trying to see if you remember that concept, that the sum of all of the angles in a given triangle is 180. That's all they're trying to see here. The question simply is, how much is Z? How much is Z? Well, here is our triangle, X, Y, and Z. The first statement they tell us that X plus Y is 139. Well, if x plus y is 139 and we know that x plus y plus z is 180, we just learned that, and x plus y is 139, then z must be 180 minus 139. 180 minus 140 is 40, therefore 180 minus 139 is going to be 41. This part that I just did out was not necessary. We just have to realize that from this equation, it is of course possible to figure out what z is. The first statement by itself is enough. A, D, B, C, E. Since the first statement by itself is enough, answer cannot be B, C, or E. It has to be either A or D. Let's look at second statement. Second statement tells us that y plus z equals 108. Y plus z equals 108. Now, as you will see here, we know that x plus y plus z equals 180. And the question is, how much is z? Simply knowing that y plus z equals 108, we cannot figure out because we need to know a little bit about the x. We cannot figure out. Second statement is no good. Simply knowing the sum of the y and the z is not going to help us figure out the individual value of z without knowing either something about y or something about x. Second statement is no good. Therefore, the answer is A. The answer is A. Only the first statement by itself does the job. That's all it was. You're done with this page? I will see you tomorrow. We'll start the new page tomorrow, page 280. Okay. Bye now.